allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Chisel's absent. Bell Richard is absent. Carlson. Here. Luce.
Here.
Lohr.
Here.
Rustad.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Okay, do we have a motion for approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Lohr and seconded by Rustad?
Nope, by Johnson.
Johnson. Okay.
We look alike.
True. Okay. Roll call.
Lohr.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Rustad.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Luce.
Aye.
Okay, agenda is approved. Do you have anyone that would like to address the council on an issue that's not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll proceed with the consent agenda, which is includes the minutes of the July meeting. The claims. Item C is Resolution 2806, setting public hearing on a zoning code amendment, rezoning of property for Dave and Julie Olson, which is 1006 Woodside Drive, C2 General Retail and Service District to an R2, which is single to 4 family residential district. This will be on August the 7th at 5:45. Item D is Resolution 2807, setting the date for public hearing on zoning code amendment, rezoning of property at Parcel A Highland Place subdivision by Ossie Haugen. And that will be on August the 7th at 5:45 also. Item E is a special C, beer wine permit for Nordic Fest, including Sunday sales. So any questions about the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead, just a second.
that should not be Sunday sales, it should be outdoor service area.
It should be outdoor service area
Yeah, just,
for
Nordic Fest.
for the Nordic
yeah.
Nordic outdoor service. Okay, with that clarification,
Yep. Yep.
Ristad made the motion and supported
Four.
by Lohr. Roll call.
Rustad.
Aye.
Lohr.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Luce.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Okay, consent agenda is approved. Next week, I will open a public hearing on the proposal to enter into a general obligation airport improvement loan agreement in an amount not to exceed $1,500,000. So public hearing is now open for that loan, and Chad, just your comments and see if anybody has some response.
So this is the required legal action to set the city up to consider GO, general obligation bonds, for an airport improvement project, specifically a large aircraft hangar. We've been working with Gunderson Health Systems to base their Meadowlink helicopter there, and so this primarily would be that facility. So again, this is the required public hearing for an amount not to exceed $1.5 million with the corresponding resolution following the public hearing. It's proposed that the hangar cost, construction costs, while we're still negotiating with Gunderson for the plans and specifications on the hangar, that we're really trying to be under that $1 million mark. And whatever the amount ends up being, it's anticipated that Gunderson would enter into a long-term lease with the city to cover those costs moving forward. So I don't have any other details at this time. Our financial advisor has indicated that long-term financing would probably be in the 3% range, but that changes daily as the markets fluctuate as well. Until we get to closing, we won't know what that is.
Any public comment in regard to that? Seeing no public comments, I'll close the public portion, and then we'll ask the council to consider resolution 2805, taking additional action, proposal to enter into the general obligation airport improvement loan program.
I'd move resolution 2805.
Okay, Lutz made the motion for approval,
Second.
and second by Carlson. Any discussion from the council?
Is this going to be a 20-year lease? Is that what we talked about?
Gunderson has indicated that they're willing to look at a lease at least that long. So it could be less, though. It's going to depend on the final market rate and what the final dollar amount is. So it could be a 15-year lease, could be a 20-year lease. It's undetermined yet.
So the lease we get into, is it just for money for the hangar, or is there also money to use the facility up there? How's that?
It would be just for the hangar and utilities and consumables and those types of things, but primarily just for the hangar, if I understand you correctly.
Yeah.
Not use of the taxiway or the runway or any of that kind of stuff? Is that?
Okay.
It wouldn't be any of that.
Other questions? Roll call?
Luce?
Aye.
Carlson?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Rusted?
Aye.
Lohr?
Aye.
Okay, resolution carried. Consider ordinance 1201 amending chapter 13.20 regarding the water rates, third and final reading. Had any comments, Chad?
No comments that I'm aware of at City Hall.
Shall we have support, final support?
I'd move ordinance 1201.
Yeah, motion by Luce,
Second.
second by Rusted. Questions? Roll call?
Luce?
Aye.
Rusted?
Aye.
Lohr?
Aye.
Carlson?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Okay, carried. Item 9 is consider ordinance 1202 amending chapter 13.28 regarding the sewer rates, third and final reading.
I'll make a motion for approval of ordinance number 1202.
Okay, Carlson made a motion for approval,
Second.
and second by Lewis. Roll call.
Carlson?
Aye.
Luce?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Rusted?
Aye.
Lohr?
Aye.
Ordinance carried. Consider ordinance 1203 amending chapter 8.12 regarding fireworks. This would be the first reading, and you did put some change in the language. Can you elaborate on that, Chad?
Based on conversations at the last council meeting on July 5th, there was concern about clarifying the language towards the end of the proposed ordinance regarding storage of fireworks. So the language has been inserted that says no storage of fireworks will be allowed in any structure outside these dates outlined in state code for the sale of fireworks. And then I inserted a reference. State code defines the dates of June 1 through July 8 and December 10 through January 3rd for permanent structures. I don't think this applies to temporary structures, but I put it in there that the state allows for the sale from June 13 to July 8. So again, the language inserted says no storage of fireworks will be allowed in any structure outside those dates outlined in state code, state of Iowa code for the sale of fireworks. And sales are already restricted in previous language to the C1, C2, C4, C5 zoning districts, commercial districts, and M1, M2, and M3 industrial districts.
Okay.
Anything on the outstanding litigation going on?
Not any developments from other than what we heard the last time, that in the injunctive proceedings, or the injunction portion of it, the court has upheld the city's ability to restrict by ordinance the location of the sales. But then it also, on the other case, indicated it didn't grant the injunction on some of the issues for permit and liability insurance. So it's kind of up in the air until we get a final decision. But I think that, in my opinion, I think that the city has a right to say if you're going to sell it, it has to be in these areas. And I think that the only other change would be is if this legislative session, the legislature comes in and, like Chad and I talked, just preempts us all and says you can't do anything about it. So that could happen.
Okay.
I I should also point out too, and I neglected this earlier, up in section B, which is regarding the localized permitting process that we have in place for discharge pertaining to any city agencies, fair associations, amusement parks, or other organizations. That language didn't change from our previous or current code, although we did amend to state insurance liabilities that would be necessary to be provided, and then added the sentence, no permit, this was expanded on, no permit shall be granted hereunder unless the operator or sponsoring organization has filed with the city evidence of insurance in the following amounts, and this is new, and listing the city as an additional insured. So that language has been augmented since the last time too.
Okay, what's council want to do with this first reading?
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 1203.
Okay, motion by Rusted,
Second.
second by Carlson. Any discussion? Roll call?
Rosted?
Aye.
Carlson?
Aye.
Luce?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Lore?
No.
There's 4, right?
4-1.
So the first reading is approved. We're down to item 11, which is consider site plan review for 300 West Main Street, which is the addition to St. Benedict's Catholic Church, approved by P&Z. So council want to have a little discussion or accept the site plan? Have any comments about it, Chad?
I don't really. There were a few comments from the Planning and Zoning Commission. I did put notes in the council's packet. Really, the two main issues coming out of Planning and Zoning had to do with the rooftop unit, the air conditioning unit, situated somewhat to the south and to the west of the property, behind the building. The Planning and Zoning Commission wondered if that would be screened, either visually or for sound. I was told by the contractor that they had talked about some of that and that they would revisit that. There were not notations on the site plan addressing either sound or aesthetics, but that the contractor would look at that. The only other question coming out of Planning and Zoning had to do with stormwater provisions, which the site is pretty densely constructed. It had stormwater provisions with the previous setup. They would tap into the existing system as much as they could, even with the new facility or shed to the street. So impact was minimal, if at all, on any surrounding properties. Pending those two discussion points, the Planning and Zoning Commission didn't have any other comments and recommended approval.
Okay, go on.
I'll make a motion to approve the site plan for 300 West Main Street, so St. Benedict's Catholic Church Edition.
Okay, motion by
Second.
Rusted, second by Lore. Council questions? Roll call?
Rosted?
Aye.
Lore?
Aye.
Carlson?
Aye.
Luce?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Okay, site plan approved. We have an application for the Communications Utility Board of Trustees, Lydia Anderson, and I think all of you got a summary of that. We did visit with Lydia this afternoon. She seems very capable. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. This is a 6-year term. Do we have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion for approval of Lydia Anderson, the Communications Utility Board of Trustees.
Okay, motion by Carlson.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Johnson. Any questions? Roll call.
Carlson?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Rosted?
Aye.
Lore? Aye. Luce?
Aye.
Okay, approved. We're down to reports. City manager.
All right, so I'm trying to coordinate some committee meetings, and I had asked Dan if he could have one tonight, and he had indicated that he was going to be gone. While I was out late last week, my staff went ahead and posted the meeting, the committee meeting for tonight. I guess I would ask council if you still want to hold that meeting or not. Probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense without the committee chair here. And with another council member being gone as well who serves on the committee. So I would ask that you suspend that, but I need a date when that one can be held. So there was a request made today to see if Monday the 24th would work. That doesn't work for another one of you. Monday the 31st or any time in between. There's a couple of committee issues that just need to be addressed before the next council meeting, which is August 7th. I know time's tough. There's a lot going on between now and then, so.
I can meet any day except for possibly Wednesday. If we could just avoid Wednesday, I would appreciate it. But any other day,
The 31st. Does that sound like a
Yes.
good day?
maybe a Monday, that'll work for me. So at 4 o'clock,
31st at around 4?
works for me.
Okay, all right. Other than that, there's probably a lot of other things going on, but I don't have my notes. So I guess the one thing Mayor and I had talked about is the Chamber is promoting their leadership, Decorah leadership development class again this fall. They have capacity for 12 attendees. Not sure that we've had any city representatives, and I think this is their 4th year for the program. So we'd put it out there for either council members or any city staff that might be interested in a leadership program. Reminder to staff, you do have a job-specific and HR component to your performance evaluation, so this would be a good time to pick up some hours there. But it's a great program. If you haven't been through a Decorah leadership program before, it's a good time. So put that out there. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Any from the department head?
I should put a request out for the 7th, the first meeting in August, to try to get together and go through what we have been doing with this, the pond pumping element of the levee accreditation, because we are reaching that point where FEMA's consultants are looking to do their mapping, and they want to have a final result from us. We're very close to having that. We think by that time we will be prepared to have that discussion and want to share that before we turn around and send it on to them. So I am looking for that night, hopefully as a meeting of, and you tell me where that fits. It could be public safety, it could be wherever you'd like, but I would encourage all of you to come just to see what we've done and where things have come out.
Is there any other committee meetings for the 7th?
Right now, none that I'm aware of. Yeah, so we could do a committee afterwards.
Sure.
On the 7th.
Yeah, we can.
Or you can just put it on the end of the council meeting too and just have it an update work session on the levy too, either way.
That could work too. And be more informative for the public.
Okay, we'll set it up.
Anything else?
I just want to let the council know and the public that we have a map on our Decorah Facebook page, or the street department Facebook page, for the Ragbri Nordic Fest, where barricades are going to be. It's going to be a little hectic over on College Drive going across the bridge, so there's a little, if you go on there, you can click on it and it'll blow up what the bridge is going to look like, where traffic can go. So a little bit preliminary. We're going to have a meeting on Wednesday, I believe. So if there's any changes, we'll be changing that as we get information. And then also we received our truck from the Ford dealership that we requested from you, and it looks nice, and it came under budget a little bit, so everything worked out well. Thank you.
It's continuing to be a busy season through the park system. The pool and campground and parks are all hopping. If you've been up through the parks, John Dingley has started the next section of wall, kind of across from the fountain along Park Street there, so that'll be the third section maybe we've done, what worked with him here, breaking it up over a course of years just to kind of keep our costs down a little bit. So that's going on, and there is park board this Thursday night at 7 right here. So.
Andy, just a quick question. How many campers are you averaging out at the campground on the weekends? Are you pretty much full every weekend?
A lot, yeah. It's been at capacity just about every weekend here for June and July.
I've been riding my bike through there several times a week, and what I like to look at, the license plate, especially from Iowa, where where the counties, and it's kind of pretty impressive, all the different counties that you see, and it's also kind of impressive how many Decorah people you see camping out there at the same time.
No, it's been full all the time.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Anything from the library? No? Okay. Council?
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Nothing. Anything over here?
I want to say something. This is good news as far as I'm concerned. A lot of times we don't hear about things that are positive that happen. One of the things was perhaps good luck or fortune or something. Gunderson decided to base a helicopter here. And we just talked about the obligation of bonds. In fact, I was questioning about it at noon today about that. But the story I want to tell you is a friend of mine has a business on the edge of town. This past week, he had an employee have a heart attack. Thanks to the police department, Bill, the first one on the scene was one of our officers that had his defib equipment and was the first one on scene because the ambulance had a delay because they couldn't get across the bridge. So they were delayed, but the big thing was once they got him on the ambulance, they took him a quarter of a mile, put him on the helicopter. At 1 o'clock that afternoon, he was out of surgery. He had a blocked artery, and they stented it. And sometimes you just luck into good things, and this helicopter thing, we never hear stories like that all the time, so I thought I'd share it. It's a good story. So thank you for letting me share.
Good. Anything, Gary? Anything, Kurt?
Nothing.
Okay. I did attend after the Fledge on Saturday night, if anybody knows what that is. It's actually a national thing here, really, kind of, because we have people coming from both coasts after the Eagle Fledge. And it's a very interesting group, very strong followers, and they developed a foundation with Bob Anderson to help support the cause, too. So we still have a lot of Eagle watchers. They had a big tent out at the fish hatchery. A nice program. So I don't know if this is like maybe the 5th year they've had that. That's the only thing I have to report. I think we have a meeting for adjournment or a motion for adjournment. Okay, we'll adjourn the meeting. Let's see. We went 20 minutes, I guess. One of our shorter meetings. Hope nobody's disappointed.